Psycho killer. The words of a famous band that I do not know. Do you guys think Reiss is going to become a psycho killer, or do you think he pretends to be shy, awkward, weird guy? This is by Jazz Likes Tea 7432. That's my postcode. Please don't put that in there. 7432.
I'm just smiling because, many subredditors will know the name of the person who posts this thread. They love a character who starts off as a baddie and then slowly becomes good over time, because they've posted about 733 different questions about Barry, about Nigel, about Billy. All the characters who started off as a baddie and eventually turned good. But hey, fuck it. They can do what they want with their free time. But I have seen a lot. There's been a lot of threads in all of the soap subreddits. So, anyways, just thought I'd just let out a bit of angst, Let out a bit of angst. Is Reiss... I feel like the characterization of Reiss as a whole is he is supposed to be an awkward, uncomfortable guy who's gone too far. But as he goes to more and more depraved lengths, we're starting to quickly realize that maybe there is more of a sinister side here. Like, when he was introduced, it's like, oh, he's funny, isn't he? Oh, he's all quirky and weird and awkward. Haha, he's like a undiagnosed autistic person. Haha, look at this guy. He's funny, isn't he? And then slowly they kind of kept teasing that there was a dark side, and the dark side ended up being Debbie. But Sonia wasn't that upset with Debbie being there, and it was fine. But then the money troubles, he would never tell the fucking truth to Sonia. So despite Sonia not knowing that he has a wife, he's still letting Sonia believe that everything's fine, and then he continues to let Sonia believe that everything's fine until the money issues get so bad, he kills his wife, who is in a catatonic state. She did suffer a stroke and kind of can't live on her own. Like, needs all the machines and shit to
I'm just
help
gonna say
her
it. I'm just gonna say
live.
Did he really kill her? Like, she was practically 90% dead. Let's be real.
Yeah.
It's like your mate who's about to jump off a cliff and you just nudge him slightly. He's got to do it anyways. You might as well just help him.
In a video game.
In Minecraft.
But he still took Debbie's life.
Yeah.
That, as said before, not that there was much of a life, but still, he was seemingly paying for the best care for her. But then, as the storylines unfolded, as Debbie's parents have emerged, we've kind of started to gather that maybe Reiss and Debbie's marriage, maybe it wasn't as good as he likes to suggest it was. Now, is that from a deluded kind of, no, it was all fine. It was all fine. Because I don't think Reiss isn't psychotic, but he is delusional. And I think that's kind of you gradually see Reiss go further and further than he ever would. And that's kind of where the intrigue comes from. Because it's like, what the fuck's he gonna do next? So he kills Debbie. He then covers up his crime and lets Sonia take the rap. Of course, he doesn't necessarily intend on letting Sonia take the rap, but when it comes to it, he's not telling the truth. He figures that the best way for this to happen is his pregnant girlfriend or fiance rather, he's happily sent her to prison. He's willingly went, fuck it. He's had many chances to confess. But he doesn't. And it's so mental to me. It's so mental. And then it carries on. Because Bianca comes on in the picture. and she figures out that Reiss is a baddie. He's a wrong un. He's not the one you want to see. And so the closer and closer Bianca gets, the worse his actions get. And finally, as of this last week or so, he's fucking kidnapped Bianca. He's kidnapped Bianca and locked her up in a fucking storage unit.
Ash can put up an X if he wants me to cut this out. But he has basically done what a protester in Belfast did in the 80s. He's fucking Bobby Sandster. Like, Jesus Christ. He was a protester in the 80s. He was not happy with the war in Belfast, and he basically he refused to eat, and the British did nothing about it. But yeah.
I mean, you're Irish, you're allowed to say it. I don't fucking know Irish law.
He's basically Bobby Sandster. The only difference is he gave her a microwave and is allowing her to eat.
Yeah.
Also, just
but it's like, and I suppose as I very, very slowly let that through time, it's proven that he will go further and further to conceal his secret, and he seems to genuinely believe that as long as Sonia gets out of prison, they will all be able to live happily ever after. Like, come on, homie. You fucking kidnapped a sister. You sent her to prison. For fuck's sake. Like, didn't Debbie die in, like, what was it, August?
July. The end of July.
But Sonia's been in prison for fucking ages. Yeah, she was murdered the 24th of July. Sonia's been in prison for a long time. And Reiss is just like, she'll get out, be fine.
I will say...
It's wild, and that proves the delusion.
I will say also on the Bobby Sands joke, I want Bianca to do what the prisoners did in Belfast. She starts throwing shit at the walls. That is literally true what they did. Like, the protesters in prison started throwing shit at the walls. Like, we were like, fuck you, we're doing what we want. Have this, you bastard. Like, imagine he walks in and she throws like a turd at him, and then he goes, who throws a shit at someone? The old Austin Powers quote, who throws a shoe at someone? But like, he's not a psycho killer. Like, me and my dad were laughing about this. We were laughing about this coming home from like McDonald's on Friday. Yeah, I got a double Big Mac with bacon on Friday. I was so hungry from the airport. But yeah, we were talking about it. He was like, son, it's kind of funny when you look at it, because he's somehow trying to get away with all this, but you know his action's got to catch up with him, and he's just going to fail. He said he couldn't stop laughing at like the way he handcuffs Bianca and the Duffs. And I was like, it's funny when an outsider like my dad laughs at these bits. Because we talk about it and he still believes that fucking Debbie's going to John Wick Reiss. And if you don't know what I mean, basically that Debbie's not dead. It's an entire ploy that Debbie will come back at December, at Christmas time, and fucking, you know, I don't want to say assassinate Reiss, but go, you motherfucker, I see what you've been doing. But if that is somehow true, and we will note it, we will give...
It's not true.
If it's true, Ash will give my dad 10 and I will give him 20.
The fuck?
Yeah. Imagine it's true. She just comes out of nowhere. John wicks him. I would laugh. I would honestly laugh. But yeah, I like Reiss in a sense because he is a villain I want to hate, but I can't. With Nish, it's you're so sexy, but God, I hate you. But that juicy ass and that suit, and that beard, man. You know, it's just like, I'm very Reiss, you're like, oh, please get off my screen. Please. Like, Reiss, I generally...
Yeah, like, I don't know how to feel about him, is my problem. That's my issue with it. I don't know how to feel about Reiss. Because, you know, he is doing worse and worse actions. But he's still a fucking idiot. And he's still unconvincing in everything he does. So, I don't know. It's so bizarre. But it's not like he's trying to be this big, scary villain. You know, he's not doing the Grey Atkins and pushing Cush in front of the tube. Like,
And the cameras aren't on.
it's never that deep. But I guess it's an interesting take on, you know, a killer who's kind of just everything's gotten a bit much.
I mean, I'm not like, I don't hate the Reiss stuff. I kind of laugh at it because I always compare it to, but it's like wacky races with Dick Dastardly, where he thinks he's doing something cool, but he's literally not. He's like, I'm gonna cut their brakes, but somehow the brakes are still working, and it's like, motley. Like, that's the kind of villain he is. Or I can compare to that one JFK scene in Clone High where he's driving and it's like, nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys, and then the car flips over.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the end, but I still hope my dad's theory comes through. So what I would give just for fucking her to show up, and Linkin Park's playing from that one Transformers movie at the end. I don't know what song it is. What I would give, but I guess I'll read some of the comments. I love how like this is supposed to be a serious topic, but like we just talked about like anything. Because that's what we do here. We take the seriousness, try to make it light-hearted. So yeah, again by Jazz Likes T7432. That's my postcode. Please don't find me. Do you guys think Reiss is really becoming a psycho killer, or do you think he pretends to be the shy, awkward, weird guy? As his ex-wife Debbie never loved Reiss and she couldn't even stand him. What's your theories? My theories is that I think she knew how Reiss was really like. Probably he was the cause of Debbie's sickness. Get down with the sickness. Indeed. What about your opinion? I don't think he's this devious mastermind at all. I think Reiss is a smart guy, but whose strongest personality trait is being a coward. He's been pushed and pushed into it, increasingly desperate. And also, side note, as much as he did lock her up and like hide her in a storage unit, Bianca did literally step on his toes like for the entire 3 months. She did just keep calling him a dick. Let's be real.
Yeah, but I've called you fat for like 1 year and 11 months. I mean, you're gonna fucking kidnap me.
No. But you know what I mean. She literally pushed him to the breaking point.
Yeah, but that's because he has something to hide. A normal, reasonable person would just kind of be like, "Can you just fuck off?" Wouldn't go, "Sorry, Bianca. Whee! Time to play the blanket game.
Time to hide the Bianca."
Like,
yeah,
fucking, what is that angle? She was winding him up. It's like, yeah, fucking give him a smack. Don't fucking kill him. He pulled me hair for 3 days in a row. Smash! Fucking hell, alright, mate. Jesus. Fucking wrong with you?
Where his priority is avoiding any consequences. His intelligence means that when he's forced to, he can manipulate effectively. I don't think he enjoys it at all. Why are we going into the fucking psychotics of him like we're a therapist?
I mean, it's a good take.
I mean, yeah,
it's a genuinely good comment. Don't fucking.
No.
This is one of the good comments we've fucking seen, and you're burying it.
I'm not burying it. I think he generally believes that if he buries his head in the sand for long enough, everything will just work out fine. If he avoids consequences for long enough, they'll go away. I find him super interesting and unique, very different to the likes of Gray, Lucas, etc. I find it hard to see him as a villain per se, as he isn't enjoying any of the aspect of it. I guess a comparison you could make is like when you're 5 years old and you're playing with your little brother, and then like you both break the fast, but you go hiding, and it's like, if you don't tell mom, nothing bad will happen. And then she comes over and like, who broke the vase? No one, mom. We glued it back together. It's better now. And it just falls apart again. And that's how I compare it. He's just like, if I break the vase and I hide, mom won't give out to me and won't beat me. I'll be fine.
A bit into your family psychology there.
I totally agree. I think he's just burying his head in the sand. Perhaps I'll go away too. Bianca is meant to be leaving November/December, and Sonia coming back November/December. If there's a showdown there. To be honest, I think.
It'll be a Christmas story for sure.
To be honest, I do think he's similar to Gray and Lucas in the sense and when his version of reality collides with someone threatening that with the truth or leaving, or just general distraught and sophistication, he can't accept it and forces them into a compliance either by attacking or murdering them. I've not seen today's episode yet, but I feel like Reiss drowned for Debbie in the first place, and like how much he pushed Anya into accepting things that she normally wouldn't, either through lies or just wearing her down. How many of the other victims, Denise, Chelsea, Chantel, are the boiling water treatment? You know, you're not happy and are doing things you'd normally never even consider. Somehow you don't feel the water getting hotter until you're boiling. But so far we haven't seen any evidence of him lashing out and losing out with physical violence. It seems to be a lot more menacing because he's not caught in some mad, passionate display of anger. Maybe because he's a weak man who knows he can, or maybe because he's even more dangerous. Spot on, a fascinating thing to watch.
Yeah, can I just say, these comments are fucking absolutely great. Fair play. Like, fucking full credits to all these people. They're making some really cool observations.
I'll keep reading. There's been scenes in the past where I've wanted him to drop the act and we see someone different. Well, I like the fucking Tobey Maguire meme where he's like...
yeah.
There was probably a better example there, but
I mean, they give an example which I can go into.
We see something different, like when he acts really pathetic, and the person he's talking to leaves. If he just kind of straightened up and had an evil smirk. There's a deleted scene from Game of Thrones where Tywin tells Seagull to drop the act, and he stops being a doubting old man and shows who he really is. It's sort of a bit like that, but there's been nothing to suggest it's a pretense with him. I think he's just a cowardly little oddball who got himself back into a corner and kept doing the worst and worst things to try and get out of it, getting himself into more and more financial problems, and then it culminated in him killing Debbie.
Okay, so obviously the Game of Thrones example there is Tywin Lannister is kind of like, he is the big cheese. You know, he basically runs the fucking he runs the Seven Kingdoms essentially. He's basically the man behind the Iron Throne. You know, the main ruler. And you had Master Pycelle, who, from what he wants everybody to see him as, he wears all these chains because he's like a fucking... How do I describe? He is a maester. He's like kind of like, you know, health and kind of like diplomacy and kind of that sort of shit. Like he's a, you know, if someone's injured, they'll go to fucking Pycelle, you know. But he puts on all these fucking chains, and when he does it, you see him suddenly start to hunch over a bit more, and he kind of like acts like he can't hear things. So he basically just acts like a fucking old man who is incapable. But when he's alone, he's fucking doing squats, he's fucking women, he's doing whatever the fuck he wants, because he realizes it's easier to look like an idiot and play the fool rather than actually be smart and be confronted on the actions. And that's what they want with Reiss. You know, we want the moment where Reiss finally snaps, and then you actually see that whether it is a dark side to him, where he is genuinely intending for all this bad shit to happen, or whether he is just an idiot and keeps fucking up.
I mean,
but it's an interesting comparison. I like the idea.
I mean, I wouldn't really compare him to Patrick Bateman from American Psycho, but in the same sense, in American Psycho, which I still need you to watch. I still need you to watch that movie because it's...
How are you comparing Reiss to Patrick Bateman?
But basically, Patrick Bateman puts on this act where he thinks he's... I'm just gonna do my example of it. Fuck you, I'm doing my example. I don't care. You got your example, it's my turn. But Patrick Bateman basically puts on this act where he is like a smart, normal person, and then like obviously Willem Dafoe in the movie, I forget what his character's called, tries to confront Patrick Bateman about all these incidents that have happened. And Patrick Bateman's like, no, what wasn't me, pal. Don't know who murdered all these people. And obviously, like at the end, it's been rumored that it was a dream that he shot all these people and he got away with it. When in reality, he probably didn't. That's what Reiss is kind of like, where people are just like, "Are you actually an idiot?" Like, but again, I wouldn't mind if he did what they did in Scary Movie 1, where he just takes off everything. and he's actually just a sexy man. Like, he has a six pack full of abs, rippling abs. Ugh. Johnny Friedman is a sexy man. I don't care what people say. Yeah, I'll read on. I'll continue reading on. I'm having fun with this. Yeah, I have a feeling the actor is a lot better than we're giving him credit for. And if we were to rewatch after this storyline ends, I feel like he's been laying groundwork for a while. For a while to show how meaning Reiss is. I think the fact most of us can't stand watching him is a testament to his acting ability and commitment to the role. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Right, it's the fucking psycho killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Yeah. First thing I thought when I saw the title, I think he believes he's just this nerdy, naive, well-meaning, scared guy. And nothing but his calculating mind is like a sub-personality, giving him license to carry out inhumane behaviour and rationalising it. He's a very rational type of guy. Remember he's been aggressive with Bianca before when she returned earlier this year. He's also done many dodgy things with money, helping Keanu, lying over and over to Sonya. He's not a good person. He has choices like we all do, but he basically is excusing his behaviour, just calculated and rational to him, and therefore okay. I still believe he is behind Debbie's coma. She had a stroke. Reiss couldn't have caused that. He's no psycho. He's just an oddball, a coward with a very poor judgment who sees solutions and acts, but doesn't think through the ramifications first. Why cut him out of the will if everything was rosy? Who said everything was rosy? But he seemingly thought it was. More than likely wouldn't have spent all the money on her care. But Reiss believing that he had a healthy, happy relationship with Debbie doesn't actually mean it was a healthy and happy relationship. I think it's more evidence that Reiss is a little out of touch with reality, and his response to this is just to put his head in the sand and hope things will turn out better. Yeah, he killed Debbie, but he has let Sonya, the woman he supposedly loved, take the blame, but thinks he's a good guy, as he's trying to help her even more, or even though he put her there in the first place. Same thing with Debbie, caused her to have a stroke, but painted himself as the good guy looked after her with. It could have been a bit of good luck. I think she was leaving and forcing him, and didn't want to lose the financial support. Either that, the home, or whatever. He didn't realise she'd cut him out of the will. He intended to kill her, stop her from leaving, and failed in my opinion. He could have drowned her, relented, called an ambulance thinking she died, and said she's alive, she's had a stroke. That's why he's been so active in her care and her life. Make sure if she ever recovered, he couldn't communicate what happened to anyone. And then they're just on about financial support, and
I think with that, I think it's actually a pretty interesting point to end the video. It's a good fucking video. It's a lot of really good discussion points. So full credit to all the commenters in there. A very interesting conversation about the psychology of Reiss Caldwell.